The role of government should be akin to that of a football referee. Pertaining to any specific market or issue, the role that the government plays should be akin to a referee at a football game. They are the enforcer of rules in the game of life, however no rule should favor one group of people more than another group or one individual more than another individual. When two football teams step onto the field, they are both playing by the same set of rules that are enforced by the referees. Imagine if the referees were best friends with the head coach of one of the football teams whose game was about to begin. Prior to kickoff, the referees summon both teams' captains to the center of the field for not only the coin toss, but to announce a few new rules for just this one game, not all games going forward. It is announced that for the next 60 minutes of football the Eagles, whose coach is best friends with the referees, will only have to get 7 yards for each first down as opposed to the common 10 yards. The Eagles' opponent, the Giants, will still need to get 10 yards for a first down. In addition, when the Eagles score a touchdown they will be rewarded 10 points as opposed to the 6 points that the Giants will receive. These rule changes give the Eagles a huge advantage over the Giants. The Eagles still need to go out and play the game to win, but the changes make it much more probable than before that the Eagles will in fact come out victorious in the end. In the real world we are not talking about football but perhaps a subsidy for one industry over another that allocates more of society's wealth towards the politically connected industry versus a competing industry. Alternatively, a new law can give one politically connected company an advantage over its competitors. In football, different teams have unique strengths and weaknesses. Whereas one team might be built to move offensively at a fast pace with the majority of their plays designed to throw the ball down the field, another team might rely more on their defense and clock management by running the ball. Unlike any other sport, clock management is a huge component in the game of football. By successfully running the ball and picking up multiple first downs, a team can run out the clock if they have a lead, or shorten the game and keep the ball away from the opposition's high-powered offense, giving the running team a better chance of winning. These different game strategies create intriguing matchups and interesting outcomes. It is the reason why the team with the best quarterback doesn't always win. Our Eagles team, whose head coach is referee connected, has a high-powered offense with one of the best quarterbacks to ever throw a ball and wide receivers that are the fastest in the league. Due to all of the money they've spent on offensive salaries, their defense is not very good, especially at stopping opposing teams' running backs. In contrast, the Giants have a very powerful offensive line that allows them to run the ball successfully. As is the case, for the second meeting of the season between the two rivals, the Giants prepare a game plan around running the ball that allows them to eat up a lot of the clock and keep the Eagles' quarterback and wide receivers off of the field. Unfortunately for the Giants, the referees again decide to make some rule changes moments before the start of the game. After the last set of rule changes, the Giants complained to the league commissioner, who agreed that it is unfair to grant some rule changes that directly benefit one team versus the other, such as giving the Eagles 10 points for a touchdown compared to 6 for other teams. The commissioner, who is also good friends with the head coach of the Eagles, tried to sweep it under the rug, but it was just too obvious of an advantage. He did leave the door open for rule changes right before a game begins by the referees, sensing that his referee and head coach friends would be able to figure something out to give them an advantage in the future. The referees announced that they want to make the game more entertaining for the fans. To accomplish this task, they will enact 2 changes that they hope will lead to more passes and less runs, since passes are seen as more entertaining for the fans. First, they will make the amount of space between getting a first down 12 yards instead of 10. These extra 2 yards will make it more difficult for running teams, like the Giants, to successfully pick up first downs, forcing them to have to pass more, which isn't their strong suit. In addition, the referees will stop the clock after each play and not start it again until the next play is run. This will prevent the Giants from trying to strategically run out the clock in order to play to their advantages. As the referees and Eagles head coach share a wink, the Giants head coach attempts to argue that the changes are designed on purpose with the intention to benefit the Eagles and disenfranchise his team. "That's preposterous," exclaims the head referee. "We simply made these changes for the benefit of the fans. Besides, both teams have to play by the same set of rules, since you complained to the league the last time. If you are both bound by the same rules, how can one of you have an advantage?" The 2 arguments in favor of the rule changes: 1, that it is for the benefit of the fans, and 2, that no individual team benefits from the changes, will pass the shenanigans test with the majority of people who aren't directly impacted in a negative way. The only people directly negatively impacted will be the Giants organization and their more highly knowledgeable fans who understand how the changes are bad for their team that is designed to play a slower-paced style of football. Those that are positively benefited by the changes, mainly the Eagles team, will turn a blind eye to the obvious and recite the benefit for the fan narrative. For everyone else who is not emotionally connected to the game, if the issue should come up at a social gathering, it will not warrant much critical thinking as they will have other things in their personal lives to worry about. The fact that both teams have to abide by the same rules will provide the justification that those who are not directly involved with the game will need to give their support to the fans who will see the benefits of a more entertaining game. Lost in their analysis will be the preparations of both teams centered around the set of rules that existed leading up to the game. Yes, during the next 60 minutes of football both the Eagles and Giants will play by the same set of rules. However, the analysis will not consider the off-season acquisitions that were made by the Giants front office to construct a team designed to play a certain style of football. It will not take into account the difficult practices sustained in training camp by the Giants players and coaches as they work tediously to construct their game style for the upcoming season, or the time and energy spent in the last week leading up to kickoff for the upcoming game. The snap judge conclusion made by those who are not emotionally involved and thus not directly affected by the rule changes, will be one made without looking at the ripple effects of such changes. Only the here and now will be analyzed, and this lazy analysis will only incentive the referees to make further changes in the future for those teams who they like, or those teams who incentivize the referees to make the proper rule changes.